Welcome back, my friends, to the DerateTheHate.com podcast. I am Wilk from WilksWorld.com, and this is going to be episode 18 of our podcast. But first, I got a question for you. And I asked this question last week, and it's a question that I'm probably going to ask a lot. And I just want to ask you, I want you to think about this real hard. What did you do today to make this world a better place? What did you do today to make your life a better life? Because as I say at the end of all of our podcasts, it is up to you, and only you, to make each day the day that you want it to be. So I want you to think about that, and as you're going back, maybe this is the first time you've listened to the Derate the Hate podcast. As you go back, I want you to listen to our podcast and think about ways that the little snippets, some of them may not do anything for you, but some of them may just trigger something. And our intention is always to better the world one attitude at a time. And if anything that I say can help you make your day better, make your life better, or make the world better, that's awesome, but it's up to you to make that happen. So, episode 18 of the DerateTheHate.com podcast. Episode 18 is going to be called Labels, Get Out of the Box. And this is going to be a little bit different, but labels, get out of the box. And what am I talking about when I say get out of the box? Is there are those out there who always want to put a label on everybody. I don't care. I don't care if it has something to do with race or has something to do with gender or orientation or whatever the case may be. But they're always looking to put somebody in a box. And I am here to tell you that box is set up by them to somehow define you. And that box is a place that you want to get out of. So, labels, get out of the box. I recently saw a meme, or was it meme, whatever they call those things, meme, that said something to the effect that the divide in this country is not between race, class, gender, or orientation. The divide in this country is between the wise and the foolish. And the foolish are always looking to divide people by race, class, gender, orientation, whatever the case may be. So that really hit home for me because, it makes total sense. I cannot stomach the idea I personally live my life, and I've always lived my life trying to think of everybody on a level playing field. I don't care who you are or what you do. If you're a good person, I'm going to treat you good. If you're a scumbag, I'm going to treat you like a scumbag. It makes no difference to me what your skin color is, if you're a man, woman, gay, straight, whatever. It makes absolutely no difference to me who you are, what you do, what you think you are, whatever the case may be, rich, poor, in the middle, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you're a good person, I'm going to treat you well. If you're a scumbag, I'm going to treat you like a scumbag, plain and simple. It doesn't matter to me what you define yourself as or what box somebody put you in. Because, like I said, boxes, I don't want anybody to define me. I mean, I've talked about it on this podcast before. Anybody who knows me in real life knows or has probably heard I grew up very poor, and I'm far from wealthy now, but I don't think of myself in terms of rich or poor. I don't think of myself in terms of some box that somebody else has defined and put me in some predefined demographic that I now have to somehow hitch my wagon to, and I have to live within the guidelines of some group think or some way of doing things, because now all of a sudden I'm, just for instance, I'm a straight white male, in my mid-40s, and now all of a sudden I'm supposed to fall within this category. I fall within this box that certain people have preconceived notions about. But that's not the case. I am very much my own person. I very much believe things the way that I believe them. Some right, some wrong. Things that I've picked up throughout my life, bits of wisdom, that I've picked up throughout my life, and that's the way that I operate. I have a moral compass. I have a value system that I have built over many, many years of experiences and many, many mistakes. And I learned from the mistakes that I've made and the mistakes that I've seen other people make, and that's how I live my life. I don't live my life in some box just because somebody has defined that box and put a label on it, and now I have to live my life by those standards. So wisdom is so important, and that's why I started this podcast, is to try and spread some of the wisdom that I have built over the years, things that I have learned, and in hopes that some people out there may be able to take those bits of wisdom that I have from the mistakes that I've made or the things that I've picked up over a lifelong journey of sometimes crazy, sometimes bad, sometimes good, whatever the case may be. I started this podcast in the hopes that I can spread a little wisdom. And one person that I consider to be very much a mentor of mine is Dennis Prager, and he often says the enemy of evil, and I'm putting this in my words, it's paraphrasing, and I'm not exactly sure how he says it, but something to the effect that the enemy of evil is not necessarily good. The enemy of evil is wisdom, and if you think about that, think about it this way. There's a lot of people out there that are good people, but they often tolerate bad things, thinking, or they tolerate evil, thinking that they're good. They're doing good. There's so many examples that we see on a daily basis where people that we believe are good people are full on accepting of evil doing and evil things because they think they're doing good. It feels good. So it must be good, right? Well, that's not necessarily always the case. In fact, it's often very much not the case. There's so much that happens that people do because of lack of wisdom. They're good people, but they're good people that lack wisdom, often called foolish people. And all too often, fools doing what they think is good and doing what feels good allow bad things to happen. Like I said, just because you think you're doing good or just because it feels good doesn't mean you're doing good. And oftentimes that's when the evil steps in and gets in the way. Like I said, labels, putting people into boxes. To me, there's nothing worse than somebody who is grabbing onto a box with a label on it and then pandering to that box, thinking that somehow they are doing good. And politicians are the worst at this. It's absolutely horrible, the way that politicians pander to boxes that they've put labels upon. Because what they are actually doing is just trying to divide. I mean, that's what those boxes are. I mean, if we've got a bunch of junk in our garage and we want to divide it all up. We want to categorize it. We want to get everything in order so that we can have some kind of sale or get rid of our junk. What do? We put it in boxes. We put it in boxes according to, whether it be by size or by usefulness or by this or by that, whatever the case may be. That's all we are, is junk to the politicians. And then, they're putting us in these boxes. They're putting a label on it. And then when they need us, they are just trying to, they start looking for labels. They look for labels and they say, okay, well, I need this label for this, and I need that label for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pander to this box today, and I'm going to pander to that box tomorrow. And then you've got the media that comes in and helps to disseminate this division, to help their politician of choice. And really, what they're doing is they're just spreading hate. They're spreading hate. They're spreading division by putting us all in a box and putting a label on that box, and then they're going to put this box against that box because this box does this thing and that box does that thing, and now we want to pit these boxes against each other, because how do they stay in power? They divide us. They divide us based on those boxes, based on those labels, and you have to really watch out. So here's my advice. Here's the little bit of wisdom that I feel is so important and can make a big difference in the world that we live in today. Get out of the box. Take that label off you. Like I said, I'm mid 40s, slightly overweight, straight white guy, married, live in the suburbs, beautiful wife, couple kids. I'm not in a box. I will not allow myself to be placed in a box that I have to be part of some groupthink experiment that the powers that be are just gonna bounce around like some little puppet. So get out of the box, shed that label, think for yourself, and quit letting the media and the politicians divide us up because you might look different than me or you might believe a little bit different than me. Whatever the case may be, you know what? Get out. Be kind to your neighbor. Enjoy your life. Remember, it's up to you to make each day the day that you want it to be. That's how I end each of my shows, and it is so very important. Get out of the box. Shed that label. Do not play into the hand of division that the politicians and the media that are always trying to propagate, disseminate, throw upon all of us like they're big, messy, whatever. It's not right, and it's not it's not a rock solid deal. You have the ability to make sure that we are not divided up into little boxes with little labels that the powers above believe. So, anyways, that's the deal. Make each day great. Make each day great. It's up to you to make each day great, and you're in control of your life. Do not give them the power. You have the ability, as we've talked about in previous episodes. You've got the ability to choose your response to everything that happens in your life. And it's up to you to make it right. It's up to you to make your life good. So when I ask at the beginning of the show, what have you done today to make the world a better place? What have you done today to make your life a better life? You know what? It's probably just time you shed the box. Get out of the box. Shed that label and start doing things the way that you want to do them. Enjoy your life. And that's the way you should do that. So anyways, that's episode 18, label, get out of the box. And with that, I'm going to jump right into our good news story of the week, our feel-good story of the week. And this is something I stumbled across today. And we here in Wilkesville, that's what I call my little acreage out here in the country, we sell vegetables. We grow a lot of vegetables, and we sell eggs. We sell vegetables. We grow a lot of our own food here. But there's a lot of people out there that do not have the ability to do that, and there's some people out there that don't even have the ability to buy food today. And there's an organization out there that I was recently made aware of, and I thought it was really pretty neat. And I'm going to put a link to it in the show notes. But I saw an article about a thing going on up in Burlington, Vermont, where people are starting these little free pantries. Where they're, you've heard of little free libraries where people got the little library book stands. It looks like a little house on a post in their front yard where, you drop a book off, you pick up a book, and it's kind of like a little free library. Well, this is called the Little Free Pantry, and in Burlington, Vermont, there's an outfit that is setting up these little free pantries. And then after looking at that story, it kind of led me into to notice that it's a national movement. So the One Good Deed Fund in Burlington, Vermont, is the one that's setting up these little free pantries all over the place up there, where if people need food, they've got a place 24 hours a day where they can go and grab a little bit of something. Or if people got extra food, or they go to the grocery store and pick up a couple extra things, they can throw it in there. It's almost like a food shelf program, but they're open all the time, and they're just in random places throughout Burlington, Vermont, which was really cool. And then I noticed that that's actually part of a nationwide movement set up called the Little Free Pantry Project. So, and it's a nationwide thing going on, and I've not seen any of them around here. It's something that I'm going to look into a little bit more, but I thought it was a really cool idea. And So yeah, like I said, the One Good Deed Fund up in Burlington, Vermont started setting these things up back in July, and I saw their story, which kind of led me to see the Little Free Pantry Project story, and I'm going to link to both of those in the show notes, and if that's something you want to get involved in, hey, that sounds awesome, and it's a very neat thing. I mean, anytime you can share with people who are less fortunate or whatever, it's a great thing. I mean, giving is got to be part of everything that we do in our lives, and giving back. And like I said earlier in the podcast today, what have you done today to make the world a better place? That is a great thing. And one thing I can promise you is making your life a better life involves giving and giving back. So anyways, I'll link to the One Good Deed Project up in Burlington, Vermont in the show notes, as well as the Little Free Pantry Project that is a nationwide movement. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this week's episode, episode 18, boxes or labels, get out of the box. I'm going to wrap up episode 18 and say, like I always do, when you get back out there, be kind to one another, be grateful for everything that you've got, and remember, it's up to you to make each and every day the day that you want it to be. So I'm going to back on out of here. It's Wilk from wilksworld.com. Thank you for listening to episode 18 of the D-Rate to Hate podcast. We'll catch you next week.